There's an emerging trend in the ascendancy. We're talking about prepubescent adolescents, 9, 10, 11 years old, making music about murder, money, and misogyny. Now, this is the current state of affairs, and I'm interested to know, number one, how did we get here and how low can we go? Now, I remember during my formative years, Little Bow Wow was making waves, and some of the things he was talking about was, hey, we're playing basketball. That was one of the joints that was popping at the time. Now, something has happened in the last 20 years. Of course, we've seen the democratization of music, so the barriers to entry have significantly reduced, which means anybody can record and distribute. And I would say this is generally a good thing. But what this means is that to stand out has become much more difficult. And of course, we're living in an era where attention is a beautiful, coveted commodity, and therefore the approach has to change. Because check this out: if you hear that, oh, a 25-year-old rapper is talking about murder and money, it's like, who cares? Like, this is not shocking anymore. However, if you take that same subject matter and change the messenger, so the message is the same, but we change the messenger and we get somebody who is, hey, what, 10 years old, then suddenly, suddenly this is newsworthy, suddenly this might get blasted through the algorithm, for lack of a better word. So I guess it's harder to cut through. So what we're seeming to do, and this seems to be a general trend across society and content creation for that matter, is that we're pushing things to further extremes. We're pushing things to the extremes, pushing the limits, because we're trying to get that engagement in a very competitive landscape. We might do anything to stand out. And so this is what we're seeing, right? And I'm wondering, where do we go from here? Like, there seems to be no real barrier, no real standard, right? Anything goes seems to be the mantra, okay? And a 10-year-old, shocking. 9-year-old, shocking. And it's like, there's not many more years that you can actually do what? 7 years old, 6-year-old, right? We might have some toddlers with some gold chains wearing some grills, because it's like, how far can you push this extremity before we reach a place where there's nowhere else to go? Now, this is an interesting trend that I'm seeing in the music industry, the music landscape, and it's a strange state of affairs. And at the same time, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. This is how I feel about this current situation. Part of me is surprised, but then again, knowing the climate that we're in, I'm not surprised. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. What do you think about this trend of 9, 10-year-old young boys with brown skin talking about murder, money, misogyny, and all of these fantastic subjects right here? Keen to get your thoughts.